The situation is nuanced with no conventional war between Israel and 57 countries. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation's joint condemnations highlight diplomatic unity, not military declarations. Regional escalations are marked by proxy strikes like Houthi attacks and Israeli counteractions, rather than coordinated forces. The U.S. plays a complex role, balancing military support with selective condemnation, while the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to worsen, resulting in tragic civilian casualties. Clear situation summary as of the latest international reports. 1. There is not a single conventional war of Israel versus 57 countries. The number 57 appears because the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, a bloc of 57 majority Muslim states, has repeatedly issued joint condemnations of Israeli actions and set up diplomatic contact efforts to push for de-escalation. Those diplomatic actions and condemnations are not the same as 57 countries declaring war. 2. How the conflict has actually escalated regionally. Several states and non-state actors, for example, the Houthi movement in Yemen and Iran-backed groups, have launched strikes, missile or drone attacks in solidarity with Palestinians or to pressure Israel. In turn, Israel has carried out strikes beyond Gaza, including in Yemen and, according to recent reporting, strikes that hit targets in Qatar. These are episodes of cross-border escalation and proxy attacks, not a coordinated conventional alliance of 57 armies invading Israel. 3. Recent notable military diplomatic moves, high level. Israel, continuing large-scale strikes in Gaza and targeted strikes at groups' cars locations linked to attacks on Israeli territory or shipping. Houthis, Yemen, have launched missiles, drones and attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. Israel has responded with airstrikes in Houthi-held areas. Reuters documents recent Israeli raids on Yemen with casualties. OIC, Shatkhor, 57-country bloc, diplomatic pressure, joint statements, calls for UN action, proposals to examine Israel's UN membership and formation of contact groups for de-escalation. These are political and diplomatic moves, not full military mobilization by 57 states. 4. Role of the United States. The U.S. remains a major political and military supporter of Israel, which affects Israel's capacity to sustain operations. However, the U.S. has at times publicly condemned specific Israeli strikes, for example at Doha, and urged de-escalation, showing that U.S. support can be conditional or politically constrained in some episodes. That mix of support and public displeasure affects Israel's strategic choices. 5. Humanitarian and casualty picture. Key figures. The humanitarian cost in Gaza has been very high. Independent news tallies and health ministry figures report tens of thousands of deaths and very large numbers wounded and displaced. UN and human rights groups describe catastrophic civilian harm and humanitarian collapse in many areas. Counts vary by source. The Gaza Health Ministry and some outlets report very large cumulative death tolls. Important caveats and what this means for a possible wider war. Diplomatic unity among many states, for example the OIC, increases political pressure and coordination. But political statements and sanctions, UN démarches are different from full military declarations or conventional multi-front invasions. Proxy attacks and strikes, Houthis, Iran-linked groups, other militias, raise the risk of a broader regional conflagration. But the current pattern is escalatory tit-for-tat incidents rather than an organized 57-state military campaign. Images and wounded victims.